When we look at stress, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that stress is an incredibly important trigger in an individual to tell the individual where to put their energy resources. So when we look at stress, we don't look at it from a negative or a positive. We look at it as a mechanism that tells the body where to expend energy.
It was in a piece that I wrote for an education magazine where I came up with the 5-domain model of stress, basically looking at biological stress, emotion stress, cognitive stress, social stress, and pro-social stress. That really does encompass the major stresses that children are struggling with today, and I do mean struggling.
The Self-Regulation Institute, or SRI as we call it, is really part of a dream, I think, that's been in place for many, many years. This work is really important to the health and well-being of children, our families, our teenagers, our teaching staff, the folks that are supporting schools in a variety of ways. The stress that they're under is extreme.
The origins of the Self-Regulation Institute actually go back to the year 2000. I was doing a study with Stanley Greenspan called Building Healthy Minds. And what Stan and I were interested in was the explosion of problems that we were seeing in children that already. And it had already become clear by the year 2000 that the prevalence of these problems was beginning to escalate quite dramatically. So in the year 2002, I was approached by Milt Harris. Milt had heard about the project that Stanley and I were just starting, and he came up with a plan for how we would roll out a Canada-wide self-regulation initiative. And Milt's idea was we would start with a randomized control study showing the benefits for young children if you reduce their stress. And the study was, as we hoped, successful, and we were able to show the dramatic benefits for these children by lowering their stress. Benefits in areas like their social behaviors, their overall sense of well-being and happiness, but also some more specific areas like how they use language, how well they initiated social encounters.
When we think of self-regulation, really it is the mechanisms and tools that people bring or access in their environment to help manage this stress resource and make sure that resources and energy are being used in the way that's important for that moment, for that person at that time.
The idea behind the Self-Regulation Institute was that this would not only continue with the kinds of research questions that we've begun, but also would look at the effects of what we were doing with parents and teachers, what we could learn from these experiences, how we could improve them. So here we are with SRI, and now what we have to do is we have to probe deeper into the nature of these stresses. We have to understand why children appear to be struggling with stress across these 5 domains at higher levels than we really have seen before.
One of the goals of the Research Institute is to really bring the research to the community, to people who need it, and that application, the embeddedness in the context was an important component.
One of the unique things about the Self-Regulation Institute is our approach to knowledge mobilization, our beliefs around where the knowledge comes from, who the experts are, and how we share that knowledge, the dissemination of that knowledge. So we're community-based, we really deeply believe in that.
What we see happening as we push deeper and deeper into these areas is this incredible explosion of optimism and excitement, not just by us, but in all the people that we work with, all the teachers, all the families, all the community leaders that we work with. Because now for the first time, they recognize why they've been seeing certain problems, but more importantly, what they can start to do about it. That's where we are. That's why we've created the Self-Regulation Institute.
Thanks for your interest in learning a little bit more about the Self-Regulation Institute, where we're at, the work that we're doing and prioritizing, and why it matters to all of us. If there's anything here that sparked an interest or sparked a question, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you personally, and we'll respond with open arms. So take care and thank you.